Bank of America upping its price target on Uber today, not just on strong bookings growth, but also on a potential pay bump for drivers, thanks to the no tax on tips provision in the president's mega bill. Justin Post is BofA's internet analyst. Justin, I love, as the dust settles, figuring out how to connect some of these dots. So what do you expect to happen for Uber here? Welcome.
Sure. Great. Thanks for having me. So basically, it's a pay bump for drivers. We think driver earnings on Uber could increase by about $1 billion by not having to pay taxes on their earnings. So in effect, it could add to some driver supply and make Uber's operations a little bit better. So net, it's a benefit for drivers and also for Uber's network.
Do you think it will affect the way that people pay their drivers? Will there be any kind of games of sort of like, maybe Uber cuts prices, but then you tip a little bit more, stuff like that, or no?
Yeah, I think Uber's probably going to let this just pass through to drivers and be a nice benefit for them. I don't think they'll try to cut driver pay or anything like that, but it will make the job more attractive, and that certainly can improve driver supply conditions and make the service levels better. And I think that's how they would view this opportunity.
I have to imagine the same would be true if these portable benefits gain momentum, as Emily was just detailing, right? I mean, that would also make people, I assume, more likely to want to do the job or the gig.
Certainly. Uber has signed agreements in several states for independent contractor benefits. And I think they would really like the certainty of this legislation. And certainly it would make the job more attractive for people and kind of get a regulatory overhang further removed. It's already been partially removed in the stock, but further removed and really drive some certainty in driver pay and certainly make the job more attractive for some drivers.
Yeah, you think tips are about 14% of their earnings. It's how you can kind of get to that $1 billion in savings, equivalent to like a 2.5% pay bump. So it is significant. Would Uber potentially have to do more in the long run to keep drivers on the platform, or do you think these moves would do that? I mean, look, there's 45 buys on the stock, 12 holds, 0 sells. The stock is at an all-time high. So a lot of things are working in its favor right now.
Yeah, certainly the AV overhang and the progress in the AV industry has been a big positive. And also the demand signals look really good for Uber right now. We expect strong delivery results for 2Q. So a lot of things going well for the stock. We think it's definitely a long-term beneficiary of AVs. That'll lower the cost of rides and increase demand. And I certainly think drivers will also be around for 10 plus years. And it'll be a nice hybrid model where you have AVs and drivers filling in during peak periods.